Well, imagine meeting your next business connection at the beach, on the water, or at the racetrack. Sounds fun. Well, no longer are just conferences with dry content and lukewarm coffee the best places to make strong business connections. And the next generation of savvy business people are actually harnessing their passions outside of the boardroom to connect with like-minded entrepreneurs, investors, business partners, and of course, customers. So our career expert, who, yeah, I think has the best job in Silicon Valley, took one for the team and just had to experience this new way of doing research and doing business for herself. McNicholas is here. So you came back from Maui.
Yes.
Because you were there to work.
I really actually was there to work, surprisingly, and I've been going to this Mai Tai event for about 5 years now, since I was working at Forbes magazine. And it's an amazing group of entrepreneurs and executives and investors from throughout Silicon Valley who share a passion for kiteboarding. And I mean, you've gone to regular conferences, right, where it's all about, what do you do? Let me see your name tag. What can you do for me? You work for Crown, right? Well, can I pitch you a story? Let me tell you about my company and who I am in business. But yes, you could do a great story on them in business, but wouldn't you do an even better story if you truly had a stronger personal connection with that person? Well, that's what this event, this Mai Tai event is truly all about. It's getting to know who you are as a person. And the commonality in this case is kiteboarding. So you really bond through your kiteboarding experiences. Would you mind launching my kite? I'll launch your kite. What is your best war story there on the water? And to quote Plato, he once said, you can learn more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. And if you don't believe me, we'll take a look at a recap of this year's Mai Tai event and hear what some of the attendees had to say.
At Silicon Valley Bank, we attempt to build deep and immersive relationships with the clients we serve. There is no better venue to do that than here in Hawaii at Mai Tai, with people that are kiting and doing something they passionately love, and then sharing their personal experiences about their work as well. A great example of that would be someone like Othman Ariki, who could talk about how he scaled Twitter. For us to have that insight would have taken us years.
I think this event is very unique because that's a place where actually people build connection to talk about business that will allow them to then help each other when the time comes and when they build businesses together.
So at conferences, it's largely based around content, where you're kind of like sitting in a room with a few hundred other people, seeing someone talk about something, and maybe there's some like informal networking in the hallways where you like bump into people and maybe talk about it. Since we're all here for a passion, kite surfing and sports, it really builds a much tighter connection immediately, just because we have that shared experience to base off of. And then when there happens to be some business interaction or some overlap, it's more of a relationship of camaraderie, where you're kind of bumping into an old friend and talking about what you're working on, rather than this new person that's, hey, we happen to work in the same industry or something like that.
Okay, but they have other things aside from kiteboarding. More fun stuff?
Right. Mai Tai Global is really now global. It started out, as I said, just a group of friends, and now they have kiteboarding events around the world. They also have a racing event that's coming up for the very first time. They brought in Colette Davis, who is an up-and-coming professional driver. She aspires to be an IndyCar driver, and she's also an entrepreneur here in Silicon Valley. And she teamed up with Life 360, which is a connected car company, and Chris Hull's the CEO, and they came up with a brand new type of networking, and it's speed dating. I'm not talking about dating in terms of relationships in your personal world. I'm talking about relationships in business. So they're connecting companies with potential employees and companies with potential investors, and they're sticking them in the back seat of a race car with Colette driving, and they're saying you have one lap to truly connect. Take a look.
Are you boys ready? All right, guys, this is developer speed date. You each get one lap to pitch each other on how great you are.
Hi, Steve. I'm Chris, co-founder and CEO of Life 360.
Hey, Chris. I'm Steve, author of Scaling PHP and CTO at Tooknet.
So let me tell you about Life 360. We're the largest app for families. We have over 50 million downloads. And since you're a back-end guy, if you're scaling PHP, we have over 1 billion API requests a day now.
A billion?
1 billion. Can you handle that?
Well, I'm your guy, Chris. I wrote the book on scaling, literally wrote the book, and I'm ready to in and make it scalable.
Where else have you worked?
So I worked at TwitPic, which is the largest photo sharing app for Twitter, and I really want to take that experience, and bring it to your back end at Life 360.
You okay back there?
I think I'm going to throw up.
Toughen up, boys. Come on.
If you can handle scaling a startup, you better be able to handle this.
I would be so scared I wouldn't be able to even focus on anything other than like holding on for dear life. But you're saying you can really connect in just doing one lap?
Right. It's all about the shared experiences, and I think that's a little exaggerated in this particular case, although people were hired over the course of this event this past week. So it does in fact work, and as I said, what Plato says, you can learn more about a person in an hour of play than an entire year of conversation, and definitely words to live by.
And you're saying it really comes down to just really breaking the ice and having that opportunity.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, great. Kim McNicholas, thanks for coming in once again. So lovely to have you.
Thank you.
We're back with more after this break.